Welcome back to the Lionscapes channel. We are Gasper, Sonia, and we teach drawing and creativity, and we have fun doing it, and I hope you have fun doing it with us.
Yeah, especially today, since it's Saturday, and we have plenty of time, right?
Yeah, Saturdays are open end, right? So today we're planning a 5-hour live stream, and yeah, I hope you brought some food. Yeah, let's do this.
Let's do this. Yeah. And today we're gonna...
It's not gonna be 5-hour people, of course not, but we haven't brought any food, so we would have a problem.
just because of us?
Yeah.
We're very selfish.
Alright, so what are we doing today?
Yeah, so today we're gonna do a colored pencil zine masterclass.
What name? What is that?
I just composed everything together. What I found was sounding very nicely, but but I was exploring colored pencils lately and figured out that I don't have a clue how to use them properly. And I visited art school. So the thing is that I had the feeling that I'm using them correctly, but actually I never tried anything more, tried to discover what does that mean, or anything involving that topic. So today I would like to explain a few things to you that I find very useful, very interesting about what colored pencils. And then I would like to do also a very zen, relaxing drawing with colored pencils with you.
Do you want to show us already what is today in plan for today?
What we're gonna draw?
Yeah.
Yes, let's do that.
All right, so let's switch to this top down.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the exercises?
Just a quick preview.
Oh, yeah.
So you see what's coming towards you.
So we're gonna do a few exercises where we're gonna apply different kinds of pressure. We're gonna do different kinds of strokes. We're gonna do layering as well, and also blending, which is also important. Maybe we're gonna touch also shading a bit. Yeah, and we're gonna talk about materials, paper, and also the colored pencils, brands, kinds, and stuff like that.
Awesome. So today we have with us a lot of people. We have Anne, Pamela, Maria, Lena, Inke, Kim is here, Michelle is here, Megan is here. Is anyone here for the first time? It's always, these are all the names that I've already seen, and it's great to have you here again. And then we have Marie-Louise as well, and we're gonna send out a heart to Michelle, Anne, and Marie-Louise for supporting us via the super chat. So thank you all.
Thank you. We appreciate it a lot. It's nice to have you here on this beautiful Saturday.
Exactly. And for all of you, the rest of you that are here, also thanks for joining in. Thanks for supporting us all this time. We just recently hit 30,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And
amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, we're really, really grateful for that. And yeah, you can also support us through liking this video. So, make sure to give this video a thumbs up before we start. And you can also share it with others so, it gets out to more people. Also, if you're watching this on replay, always leave us a comment in the comment section, or you can use the super chat I will be reading today, and Sonia is going to be teaching.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I'm excited. Are you excited as well?
I'm just gonna blend in quick another heart for Louis as well, who also sent us a donation, so thanks a lot.
Thanks, Louis. And since we're still chatting a bit, I would like for you to prepare the materials for today. So we're gonna dive into materials right away, and I'm gonna show what I'm gonna be using today, and you can right now just jump wherever you want, just pick your stuff from your shelves.
I know, but what I liked about this topic when you said, Sonia, you want to do it, is that most people have watercolor and have colored pencils at home.
Yeah.
Like
it's basic material, right?
It's like maybe from school years, maybe if they have kids, maybe they bought them for the kids, or if you're still in school, I bet you have some colored pencils around. So it's basic material. And I think like this is interesting because I think today you're going to show us how to get the most out of your colored pencils. Because as a kid, I used them, you know, really in a suboptimal way, to say the least. But there's so many techniques. By watching you now prepare for this live stream, I was like, wow, amazing! What can one do with this material?
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward.
Okay, so what are you going to need are your colored pencils. If you don't have the normal version, you can also prepare your watercolor pencils, which are very similar.
This will work as well, yeah.
Look, I mean, if I mix them here together, you won't even see the difference, but they are usually a bit more pigmented, and you can't dilute them with water. Okay, so as I said, colored pencils, a sharpener. I'm using my makeup sharpener because I can't find the normal one right now.
Because we lost our sharpener. Like we have a whole corner out of creative materials and art stuff, but we don't have a sharpener. So.
Because we also don't use them so often, right?
We actually never use a sharpener,
Yeah, because usually when you're sharpening things, that means that you're drawing a lot and erasing a lot.
And we never draw, so.
And this eraser, you can see it has some patina on it. This is probably from the high school, because when we were using a compass and then we were just sticking it inside.
Right, it's probably my high school eraser.
Oh my God,
this is historical.
Yeah, we're gonna never throw this away.
Oh, this is probably from high school. Oh my Jesus. Okay, this is like a journey down the memory lane. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then the next thing is your pencil. So you're gonna need like a technical pencil or a normal pencil, just to define some forms later on. And it's fine if you start with just a set of 12 colors. If you have more, then of course you're welcome to bring those bigger sets as well. But we bought a smaller one just to let you know it's okay to start small, especially if you're a beginner.
We have a quick question to sharpening by Rajenda. Can you sharpen with a knife?
I think yes. I mean, I saw a lot of artists using a knife for sharpening.
I used to use it as well.
Yeah.
Has anyone else, is anyone out there sharpening with a knife? Maybe you can say a word or two in the chat or in the comments to how to sharpen with a knife, because we don't have much experience.
What's important is probably just that you remove the wood part and not the nib, right? You don't want to harm or somehow, be left with less color.
Yeah, so Kim says she's using Exacto knives to sharpen pencils.
You see?
Yeah,
Exacto knives. Yeah, this is also very multifunctional tool, especially if you're using colored pencils.
What is an Exacto knife?
Like the one that we are using for the cutter.
Oh, so it's like like medical.
Yeah.
So it's very common tool. You can use it to sharpen pencils or to operate on people.
And there are many kinds of Exacto knife. I mean, they can be bigger or smaller. Some are like almost as thin as
So for fine operations or for crude amputations?
It depends in what kind of way are you using this tool.
It depends also which limb comes in question.
Okay, so I think now through this chat you also gathered all your tools. So maybe this is also the point where we can slowly start. And I would like to start with our tools and papers and stuff like that before we start with our creative exercise. So I analyzed a few of papers because I wanted to get the feeling what is the best paper to use. And there are, of course, a lot of papers. Some are very white and some are a bit more yellow, but this is not the only thing that's the difference between those papers. But some are a bit heavier, some are a bit lighter, some are a bit more textured, and some are pretty smooth.
Oh, it's so science.
Yeah, you can see here probably not, but you can also check with your paper. Some are almost shiny, they are almost glossy. And you need to know what kind of technique or what would you like to achieve with your colored pencils. because depending on that, you're gonna need to adjust your paper. So if you're gonna use your paper for doing more detailed work, then it's better to use a smoother paper. And if you're trying to layer different colors and blending them in, then it's better to use a bit softer paper. But I wouldn't recommend paper that has a lot of texture.
So not like a watercolor paper?
No, because there's no need for it.
Okay.
And I can also tell you a few things about papers. And for example, I imagine that you see the difference between those two. So this one is mixed media paper. On one side, it's very smooth, and on the other side, it has texture.
Oh, that's the trick of mixed media paper. So you have like one side that you can use.
Yeah, yeah, for many mediums or many occasions. And the thing is that this is also called the paper tooth. And that means that if you have and you can imagine if we would draw like a small sketch, if you have like a very, very shallow paper tooth and you try apply the color, that means that this surface won't have any holes that need to be filled with color. So you can't layer so much color on it. And then if you're having like a medium textured color paper, that means that when you're gonna use your colored pencils, you're gonna need to fill the peaks of this paper tooth and also the valleys.
Beware of your paper teeth.
Yes. Oh, so charming.
I just find it so hilarious that it's called a paper tooth.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I noticed that each medium or each technique has its own
Its own teeth.
No, its own words. What's the professional word? We call it jargon in Slovenian, but what's it? Do you maybe know?
Maybe professional language.
Professional language.
I would say jargon. I don't know.
Yeah, and okay, and then we have the third kind of paper, which is very textured paper. So this was the medium. This was smooth. And this one is textured. And with textured paper, it's like you can feel it. It's very, very, very textured. And that means that you're gonna need to press quite hard to even out this paper and through that create the also evened out surface.
Oh wow, this is very nicely explained.
And that means that you're gonna also apply much more pressure. You're gonna struggle quite a lot. So that's why I don't recommend using watercolor paper at least, or I recommend it just if you're using watercolored watercolor pencils, then yes, then that's the right situation to use that kind of paper. And you can also see, for example, this is the watercolor paper or the mixed media with that side that I just showed. And look at this.
With a strong tooth.
Yeah, with a strong tooth.
All right.
Tooth. And the thing is that you can see the valleys or the holes that I couldn't fill with my colored pencil.
Oh yeah, they're really like valleys because you only reach the hills basically of the texture.
Yeah, and look at this one, for example, a clear difference. I could apply pressure. I could also blend the lines. So yeah, that's why I recommend use the paper that you need. Use paper accordingly.
All right. So yeah, Michelle says great visual to explain the tooth of the paper.
Thank you. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, I'm not sure if you know about this, but we have two types of colored pencils. One type are have binders based on wax, and the other kind is based on oil.
Wow.
Yeah, and the one that is based on wax, you notice that those colored pencils are much more softer. They are much smoother, and they blend between colors much nicely, but they break also pretty fast or faster than the oil based one, and as well they well you there's a word that I want to use, but I won't find it because my notes are so condensed and dense together.
You should share your notes. I love your...
But you would use it pretty fast, much faster, because they are so soft.
Oh, so they like basically they don't last as long as the wax ones?
Yeah, because they are so soft. You need to sharpen them often,
Okay.
and through that you also just use them up pretty fast. And then you have the oil-based ones, and these are those that I'm using today.
So all of yours are oil-based?
Yeah, I'm using just oil-based.
Are these more expensive in general, or not? It doesn't matter.
I'm not sure. I can't say because I don't have the experience. But you have many kinds of colored pencils. Of course, you can buy the school colored pencils, the basic version, which your kids probably have or you had when you were in primary school. And then you have like the student version, and then you have the professional one.
So these are pretty high ends that you have here.
Yeah, of course we bought just the best
of course.
versions.
We went out and supported our local art material store.
Yeah. This is what
and
you should
bought some yesterday.
Yeah. And this we are using today the Faber-Castell Polychromos ones and Kohinoor Polycolor.
So there's also a quick question by Rajendra. Are Prismacolor pencils waxy?
Yeah, they are waxy. And you can also, they are much softer. So if you're trying to blend like backgrounds and stuff like that, then this is a very good colored pencil to use. And oil pencils are pretty good if you're trying to add some details. So some details in eyes, and if you're trying like to define the leaves and everything that you would like to achieve more detailed, then oil pencils are better because they are a bit more stable. They won't break as much. The nib, they hold the nib much better than the waxy one. But I think I tried the Prismacolors ones, and they are so, you have this kind of satisfaction to hold them in your hand because, and to use them because they are so soft. You know, you don't struggle so much because you will notice with those exercises that we're gonna just start right now that you need to apply more and more pressure, and sometimes that's hard, especially if you're doing a big work, a big piece of art. And yeah, I mean, these are two basic things, and everyone says that it's very good to use the right paper and at least the middle price range version of colored pencils. So if you're not decided yet, if you would like to dive into this topic or this medium, then try or start somewhere in between, in the middle, and then you can decide if you would like to buy additional sets. And when we're talking about the sets of colors, colored pencils, the beginner amount or the beginner recommendation for buying a set of color is between 24 and 36. So if you're buying like 24, I have here 12, a set of colors with 12 colored pencils, but if I would get an additional 12, that would be perfect for a beginner. Yeah. Whew. Bravo, Sonia. Okay, now we can start doing the exercises.
So this was the theory part.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the practice.
I just needed to share this with you because it was important, very important. Okay, so first tip that I can give you, I'm gonna use the Bristol paper. Bristol paper is pretty smooth, and I think I'm gonna also, you can use also something that you have. It's not recommended to use a printing paper because it's so thin, and when you start applying pressure to the piece of paper, it can very easily destroy the paper. So that's why I think like 160 gram paper or more is appropriate, and if possible, use something that is a bit more smoother. And this is also the right time to sharpen your colored pencils, because
be careful with that knife.
Yeah.
Don't perform any unwanted surgeries.
Yeah. Okay, so let us just start. And the first thing we're gonna try out are the pressures. So we're gonna do one, maybe we can do like a very, I'm gonna show it here. Maybe we can do a small square. Don't do too big of a square. Look, this is my finger. Compare it to the circle, so don't get too big. You can also do a circle or you can do a square, whatever you prefer. And we're gonna apply first with light pressure, then with medium one, and then with hard one. And of course, for the first exercise, pick your favorite color.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Which is yours?
I'm gonna just put it here down so that you can see.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So just because we have.
By the way, everyone, what is your favorite color, or which color did you pick now to draw? It's fun always for me to ask, what are you doing? Because I cannot see what you're doing until you'll finish and maybe post it in our Facebook group. But it's fun to hear a bit what you are using and what you are trying out for yourself.
Okay, so I draw 4 squares quite fast. And now, one tip that I can give you. So the more, when you, by hand position and how you're holding your pencil, the more near to the nib you're holding your pencil, the stronger the pressure. So when you know that you're applying a light pressure, move to the middle, move behind. You know, don't try to apply the light pressure with holding your pen like this, because it's gonna be pretty hard.
Wow, this is a great tip. I never thought about it.
Yeah, this is also a good advice if you are still trying to develop a pressure sensitivity. You know, don't struggle with yourself. Maybe it's not you, maybe it's just the position of the hand. So, okay.
Which is not you.
Which is not you, yeah. Okay, and now look, so if you're trying to imitate me, just try to apply the color with light pressure. So I'm holding my pencil in the middle of the pencil, and then I'm also trying to draw strokes or just do the lines in one direction. So I'm always just doing it in one direction. And then when I'm trying to color in the edges, you can do that as well, sure. But you still need to use a lot of light pressure. Okay, so this one is the light version.
Nice. By the way, we've got people, Michelle on pink, Maria on purple today, Rajendra on blue, Isabel green, Pamela cyan green, and Holly on Prismacolor indigo blue.
Ooh.
So this is the band.
This is the band.
And yeah.
Okay.
Rocking.
So the next one is the medium pressure version. And again, you can notice that this is more an exercise for yourself to observe. Of course, I'm here to just to give you directions, but you're the one who's observing yourself. So pay attention on how much distance do you put between the lines. So if you notice here, I added a bit more distance between the lines, so you can see that the color is more opaque and also a bit muddy. And this is also how you can control your intensity of the pigment on your artwork. Okay, and since those two are too even, they look very alike, I will go over it once more.
So it's a good idea to go over it with the same color if you want to do a darker, deeper shade.
This is also called layering. So you can always go, it's recommended to start always with a light touch, with a light hand, and then after one coat of color or the first layer of color, you just start adding additional layers of colors.
I think this is, as I remember, you know, I haven't been drawing with colored pencils really since school years. But like, if I remember correctly, it was also always hard to erase them. So it's actually a good idea to start lightly, right?
That's right. And it's probably also that you were using it wrongly. You were not using it in the right way. And this is also something that you need to consider. But that's also something, I'm not sure, maybe our teacher said sometimes what we need to do, but I'm not sure if it was...
You were in art school.
Yeah, but they thought we know how to use colored pencils.
Nobody told me. Anyways, just a quick question from Holly here.
Yeah.
Are you using the tip of your pencil or the side?
I mean, my sharpener does not allow me to use like a tip, but
to create a long tip.
But the tip or the side is also connected to how are you holding your pen, right, or pencil. So the further away I go, the more chances I have to hold it to draw with a tip. So the more pressure I use, the more chances I have to draw with a tip. Did I mix everything together?
Wait, so the further away you from the tip you're holding it, the more on the side you are drawing, and the closer to the tip you're holding it, more with the tip you're drawing.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Sure. Why is layering done? Is Rajenda asking.
Okay, why is layering important? Because if you just start applying the color like this, you will have less chances to add or mix or blend other colors later on. So if you would like to blend to this orange, yellow, or red, here in this case it's not possible because we already filled the gaps between the valleys, you know, and the peaks of the tooth of the paper. So this one is not existing anymore. That means that it cannot accept any more color, and that's why layering with colored pencils is very important. Yeah. Okay, and with this one, just apply a lot of pressure. Also change the position of the hand while holding the colored pencil. And if you see, I'm still just coloring in one direction. This is also a recipe for success. You need to create some sort of harmony or your own rules. So don't be messy and do it all over. You need to define one direction and just then be consistent.
You continue doing this. I'll try to fix the wobbling of this.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's wobbling quite a lot.
Because I'm aggressive.
No, it's fine. You're doing a good job.
Okay, and now you see also the difference. So with this one, if I want to apply or add additional color, I have less chances to do so. But for example here, which is somewhere in the middle, I can easily add some yellow or red and just layer over that and create a more richer tone. And this is also very important to know that what we want to achieve with layering is to create those deeper shades, like deeper tones, which are a bit, just fuller and juicy, you know? Okay, so we have the light, medium, and the hard pressure version. And then we also have one which is called burnishing. And burnishing is one version for professionals. I didn't even draw a square.
And you're obviously professionals.
We are all professionals here. And the burnishing version is where you really try to damage the paper.
Just move it a bit so they can see. Yeah.
Okay. So
really try to damage, like really try to fill in those.
You're just destroying the tooth.
Destroy
the tooth.
You can see how much it's shaking. It's violent stuff, people.
Yeah, but you can also see the intensity of the color, right?
Oh my God, really? How much? This is amazing. How many different values you got out of this one single colored pencil?
Yeah.
This is nice.
It's amazing, right?
It is.
Okay, and it's also recommended that you try to build on the color with every layer, and of course pay attention to the edges, but not too much. Don't start with dark edges, because you can always go darker and darker, and you can always feel the color in between, but you will never go lighter. Okay, so and now if you look at your paper from the side, you can maybe here it's also seen a bit. You can really see that what I did with my paper.
It's toothless now.
Yeah, the first one is not even shining. The second one is shining a bit. The third one is pretty shiny, and this one is just like, it looks waxy. Like
practically
really.
A mirror.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice demonstration.
So this is the first exercise. We can try to test this exercise out now by just, slowly developing a feeling for a pencil, and just at the beginning try to use less pressure, and then gradually progress to medium pressure, to hard pressure, and then just to burnishing.
Wow.
And do 1 or 2 additional lines so that you really develop this feeling. So really light, and then a bit more bolder, and now harder, and burnished. And you can do in the opposite direction as well. This exercise is also pretty amazing if you're trying to improve your lines. Okay, so here I'm gonna start with burnished, then I'm gonna go to medium one.
This is a great line control exercise that we do with our students a lot. For example, with pencils, also with pens, to try to control the pressure of the tool you're using, and then we usually fill out the whole page with this kind of lines, parallel lines, or squiggly lines.
Yeah.
In order to get the feeling and to warm up the hands.
Okay, so this was the first exercise. Let's continue to the next one. Thank you for explaining stuff in between. I'm so sorry if I'm too fast. I'm just like, yeah, we need to do this. We want to do this because at the end we want to draw as well.
It's amazing. Yeah, keep going.
You do the instant gratification at the end where you just say, yeah, I want to test my skills.
All right, yeah, keep going. It's fine. I will sometimes interrupt you for some questions, and I will answer some general questions in the end, like the one from Christina, which video equipment are we using? Yeah, I'm gonna go through that as well. And those lines can be done diagonally too, of course, Rajendra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so next exercise is for the strokes. So how do we draw? How do we color in the surface? And the first one is where we are, for example, doing just the diagonal lines. And what I mean by that, that's exactly what I did here. This is the exercise that I did here. So I used that kind of lines. And if I would just make more of them, that would look like this. Mm. And you can always see that there's always a direction. You probably, you see it a bit. And I can also say that if you're a very skilled painter or drawer or user of colored pencils, you probably know how to apply the same amount of pressure through the whole surface, and you don't see any strikes or streaks between. So, but you know, it's good for us. The second one is where you try to do a cross hatch.
Wow, okay.
What that means is we're gonna apply the same direction, and then we're gonna turn the paper, because with the first version, you're not allowed to turn the paper. With the second one, this is required because we want to have the right angle. We want to have this greedy effect, grid effect, not greedy effect.
The greedy effect. Why would this be different from the first one? Like, I'm generally asking this stuff, people, I don't know anything about colored pencils.
Because you want to create a very harmonious, evened out surface.
And this is better with the cross hatching.
I think it depends on the technique or how many, what would you like to achieve. This version is also very nice if you're layering colors. So you know that you're not just emphasizing one direction all the time, but just trying to layer different colors on top each other, or even different tones. For example, there's like a cherry, and this cherry has like a very rich red color, but it has like additional 4 tones of red inside, and you want to, you know, for example, here apply other tone because it has a bit more, a bit of shadow or a bit of light, and the lighter part has lighter tones of red and stuff like that. And you can gradually draw those with that kind of hatch.
Nice.
Okay, and then we also have the third one, which is also pretty nice, and it's this one.
All right.
So I would use not the tip, but I would use the side for this one, because you need a bit bigger surface to draw this one. And I would just trying to have some sort of order while doing this. And you can also see that it leaves each of those techniques, it can be also a style indication. So it depends whatever you like. You can really decide for yourself which one is the most comfortable for you. But as you see, I'm trying to slowly build up the color, and for that maybe those circles are not so seen anymore. But
yeah, they started disappearing. Nice.
But do you see, they are very soft. So if you're like a person that doesn't like hard edges, then maybe this is something that would be perfect for you.
This is a good tip for life. If you're a person who doesn't like hard edges in life, go for this squiggly texture with your colored pencils.
Yes, that's exactly.
It might solve a problem or two in your life.
Yeah, we should squeeze in every live stream a few of life philosophies and advices.
Michelle is calling this loop-de-loop method.
A loop-de-loop method.
Very
awesome.
Nice.
Okay, so let's proceed now to the next one. Are there any questions in between?
All right. Yeah, I'll just read a bit. So we've got some greetings from Funk from Berlin. We got love from Berlin.
Oh.
Fellow Berliner. Nice to have you here. Is anyone else from Berlin, basically? It would be great to hear. And Susan from New Zealand, but currently in New York. All right, Susan. I hope you're not stuck in New York, but great places both. Never been to New Zealand, but New York we absolutely love. Yeah, people also throwing in their favorite colors that they chose, you know, with lavender and also phthalo blue, pink, magenta.
Gaspar, what is your favorite color?
My favorite color? Okay, so this is an interesting question because I used to be like a blue person. You know, I loved blue. Blue is my thing, and I loved like the deep blue kind of. But now, recently, because I'm so much into colors, this is, you know, the blue has really lost its dominant position. I like more and more different colors. And right now, I really like cyan, like teal maybe, azure, but also yellow. I think I mostly like yellow. nowadays. I just really fell in love with yellow somehow. I also like petrol green. I don't know. My favorite color has spread more widely. My preference. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so meanwhile, I started to apply more color. And what are we going to try to do in the next exercise? I'm going to show you how to blend colors and how to layer them. So now, beside your favorite color, choose one that fits together or will make something better with your color. So can you give us a color wheel?
Surely, which one do you want? We have an array of color wheels, but let's use the one you made. I think it's quite beautiful.
So in this case, now we're gonna try to lighter or deepen that color. So for this effect, of course you can do that, or you can change it quite a lot. But I don't want to make it more dramatic. So for example, what I can do, I can take the yellow. If your favorite color is yellow, for example, you can take the violet, and for that you're gonna create a certain tone of green. Or you can take this one, for example, this kind of blue, and you're gonna create a green tone. It's not gonna be very smooth, but it's still gonna look greenish. It's gonna have a lot of small spaces in between. That's why I decided that I'm gonna use with my orange color, that I'm gonna add some red, which I also have in my color set. And for that, I'm gonna create like a deeper tone of orange. Or maybe for this exercise, since I already showed you this example, I can this time use like a yellow tone.
All right.
Maybe it's gonna be like a really bright yellow color. So, okay, and I already applied my basic tone, which was orange, and now I'm gonna try to layer it. What does that mean? That means that I need to apply the same amount of pressure, which is light or medium, and for that I'm gonna create additional tone. And I'm gonna layer it over this color. For this version, I'm gonna do the strokes in the opposite direction. And basically I'm creating now the crosshatch texture.
So if you take a second color, it's a good idea to change direction.
Yeah, that's what we said before. That if you use the crosshatch, you're gonna just give it a bit more. It's gonna look like evened out surface because it won't have any directions.
One short question. Should one start, now you wanted to use red, so you started with orange, but should one start with the lighter tone and then apply the darker over it? Or is it...
I think it doesn't matter, especially in this case, because if the colors match, that means that they will create a richer color. But for example, if I would, of course, use like this dark tone and yellow, I mean, it's not much that I'm gonna create, because this one is so light and this one is so dark. This one will win for sure, right? I mean,
it depends on the amount of pressure, yeah.
So that's the point. So use the right amount of pressure. It's really the sensitivity that's the most important. Okay, so, and you can see that I created additional tone, or this is how I layered my two colors. And you can also see that there's a difference between those two. Okay, so, and for the blending, again, I already colored in the square, and now I'm gonna add my yellow color, and then we need to decide. So you can do many versions of blending. You can do it with white color, you can do it with blending color.
There's apparently something such as a blending color, which I never heard before, that you actually have a blender.
Yeah, so the blender, it's just basically the binder with it's like colored pencil
Without pigment.
based on binder without pigment. And you can buy that, and that should just fill out the valleys and the peaks between in the tooth of the paper, and just emphasize and mix together the color very nicely. And it depends what kind of color are you using, that will also emphasize that color. So for example here, in my case, if I still want to keep this orangey color, I could try to find something like beige color, or if I want to emphasize here now the yellow tone, I can go over it very strongly with yellow, or I can do the same with orange. But since this one is lighter, I'm gonna get better effect if I continue with the lighter tone. Because if I go over it with the darker tone, there's a chance that it will just, that there won't be any effect by layering a yellow tone before that, you know, because this one is, it can happen that this one will cover it too good, too strongly.
So with blending, you try to even out, also feel basically all the valleys and fills of the tooth.
Yeah, and also the point is just to, you can, if you're using the third color, for example, if you have, maybe we can also do a stripe where we start with yellow, then we have orange, and then at the end we have red.
Yeah.
You need to create some sort of smooth transition between those. And blending is very good because at first you start applying small layers or very light layers, and then when you gradually apply more pressure, through that you will also create better and smoother transitions.
All right. So layering is basically without transition, and blending is with is like, what is the difference between those two?
So once again, this is like a test.
I'm curious because I just didn't get it.
Okay, once again, ask me once again.
No pressure though.
Yeah, but I can focus on drawing and your questions.
Difference blending and layering.
Okay, so where's my paper? If you're trying to create richer colors, then you need to layer the color. If you're trying to work evenly on your painting, and you have many tones, then many tones get together or just combine together, through that you create many different colors, and maybe you find some undertone which is very important for you. And this is why layering is very important. And layering is also very important because if you don't layer and you draw like this so strongly, you can add any additional color. That means that your sketching or painting will always look like this. You will never have smooth transitions because there will be no more space. Your paper, your basically your canvas won't handle it, can hold that kind of pressure. That's why you try to layer. And why do we blend? We blend because we want to create smooth transitions. Because when doing this, you probably want to intensify the color at some point. Maybe you notice that it needs some sort of atmosphere or some sort of feeling that you want to create. And this is what you achieve usually. And also just fill those small gaps. You can always still see it here. There are small points which are still seen here. And if you want to fill those valleys and those peaks, you need to put some pressure on it. And this is also the right moment to blend very hardly. With a lot of pressure. Okay, so where were we?
That looks beautiful, the blending example.
So this is it. This is the example, and then I also wanted to show you another one, very short. Okay. We can also, and this is, for example, with color. And I'm sorry, we don't have the blender. We didn't know this is also possible. So we didn't bought any blender colored pencil, but we can show you for sure how can you blend, for example, with white. And with white is also very nice. Okay, so I will just color this surface in pretty fast. But if you notice, this is a huge difference to watercolors. So, of course, you can always use also with watercolors small, precise brushes, and you're gonna be very slow and precise. But this is also a quite new level, right? I hope you also notice that you're really focusing on this small surface, and these are just small squares or rectangulars, but it took us quite a long time to color them in. And with other media, you're a bit faster. So
so that's what you call it, Zen meditation.
That's why I call it Zen meditation, because you really need to focus on what you're doing. It makes you really grounded, if you ask me. And this is also very nice. So, and now I'm just gonna burnish. So I'm gonna apply a lot of pressure.
Destroy that paper. Oh, so you're doing it with white.
Yeah, I'm doing it with white. And you see it's just getting a bit more peachy. It looks like a beigey, peachy tone. And after I do this, it's very hard to add anything in addition.
So basically it's already covered with this oil or wax binder, and anything else won't stick.
Yeah. Okay, and there's additional thing that you need to know. There are also you can also blend with fluids. There are different alcohols that you can use, or different oils that just dissolve the binder in the colored pencil, and this is also how you can even out the surfaces. So you can pay a lot of but quite huge amount of attention to even out the surface with nicely pressured colored surface, and then do your thing. Or you can also use the other types, those fluids.
Which is cheating.
No, it's just different. Well, people love it. People
I know.
Really love it.
Yeah. It just is it's a good shortcut, I guess. Yeah, if you have any kind of blender fluid.
Yeah. Okay, so this is also the point where I would say that maybe we just transition to our sketch.
Yeah.
Or would you like to have more? Maybe if you would like, I can show you more. But I think this is enough of knowledge, and this is the point, where we can also start drawing.
Okay, so awesome. If up until now you have any questions, ask them into the live stream chat, or you can leave us a comment in the comments below. We'll definitely do our best to answer. And if you haven't, do give the video a thumbs up. And get ready for the second stage. Alright, so one question that came in from Inke. What is the difference between burnishing and blending?
None. I think burnishing is blending, because it doesn't matter what kind of color you use. I mean, of course, there is maybe we can say that you can blend also two colors. If I do a square here and try to transition between orange and yellow, I will still need to blend those two colors, and I will try to do it as smoothly as possible. So that's blending. And if you want to blend them out in a very, very nice way, you use the burnishing technique to achieve this special effect.
So burnishing applies to the amount of pressure used.
Yeah. So this is blending. And I can, if I want to, the more pressure I use, the more pigment I get. And now I need to figure out somehow how will I create a nice transition, how I'm gonna blend those two colors together.
Now you can do this either with using the lighter tone or with using a blender or a white.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. Inke says thank you. So this is great. We also, Rajendra says it's the pastel appearance because of the blender. This is because we used a white pencil, so we used a white pencil. That's why it became more pastel-like. I don't know if you have a blender at home. Maybe it also produces a more pastel-like image, but I think it's just because of the white pencil, because it does have some white pigment in it, or chalk. Beautiful. This blending looks amazing. Wow.
Yeah, but do you see how much time does it take to create something like this?
Like a gradient.
And also to get this kind of color. I mean, I can do this with watercolors with one stroke or with acrylic or something or gouache. And here you really work for it. You know,
you have to. Colored pencils, you have to sweat for a bit. Yeah. But I think it's totally worth it. It's amazing to see all these different techniques that are possible. Yeah. You know, I never knew.
And I also wanted to do this today because, and I also give it a name like Zen Masterclass because you can really let go. You know, you're paying so much attention. You can't skip steps. You can't be fast because if you're gonna just rush, you're gonna destroy a lot of your drawing, and then many hours that you just spent coloring everything in are just gonna vanish because you're gonna be so angry at yourself because you didn't pay attention or just push through the whole drawing. And a lot of people are using colored pencils for coloring the coloring books, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I mean, it's, if you would know how to use them now you know. I mean, this is really the best version of relaxation, and that's why we also did it today.
All right.
Okay, now you have this knowledge, you know how to do it, and now we're gonna do a nice drawing.
All right, so let me get this. So we will basically be drawing.
We go to the drawing process, the third one. Here.
Yes.
Yeah, and image.
Image 30. Oh, wow. Oh, this is lovely. Well, we got a nice ladybug.
Yeah.
On a nice magenta rose or bud. It's probably not a rose. Maybe it's a rose.
Okay.
Beautiful, anyways.
So I don't know what kind of coloring set do you have, but we have a few colors here, right? And before you start coloring everything and filling out adding the color, maybe we can all just for a moment focus on the colors that are presented here. So we have a lot of it is blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I suggest
this is like cyan teal blue, right?
Yeah. Mm. And what I'm doing right now is just creating some sort of color chart.
Yeah, like some swatches, right?
Yeah, I'm doing some swatches to check what kind of colors do I have.
This is a good idea because sometimes, you know, your colored pencil is going to look from the outside a certain color, but then you're going to apply it on paper and it's going to be a bit different. This is usually the case because it's a different material. So yeah, definitely try them out before you dive in full. Yes.
Okay. And I'm doing it like this. So first of all, I start with applying a lot of pressure, and then I'm letting go, and I'm applying less and less and less and less, because I want to see what are my tools capable of. As with watercolors, as with gouache or anything other, before you start drawing and one specific picture or view, of course you need to know what kind of color would you like to use.
This is beautiful because you really, now you can see all the colors that appear in there. There's a little bit of yellow, a little bit of green, mostly blue, and then this predominant.
And there's also red, which is also almost orange, and we have like a strong pink, right?
Like a magenta, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice. You basically really have all the colors you need.
Well, I don't have any pink.
But you could use, I can see, like, if you apply less pressure to the last one you're just using, I think it pretty much fits the mood.
Okay. And I think instead of, maybe I will use this color, this sandy tone as well. Yeah, I think this would be nice.
All right.
Burnt ochre.
Burnt ochre is a good name.
Burnt ochre. And there's also one recommendation. Add black at the end. So we have here some dark tones, and we know there are surfaces which are going to be dark, and of course we need to adding them in. But when I'm talking about add black at the end, what I mean by that is add black at the end if you want to deepen the color.
In the end of your drawing process.
Yeah, you need to do it slowly, not at the beginning, but at the end.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna do a small sketch.
So you don't want to do it too big. The drawing will just do, because it's, as soon as I said, it takes a lot of time to color something in with colored pencils. So, what is the size you're doing now? It's like a A6, the size of your palm.
Smaller. It's like 2/3 of my palm or something like this.
So don't go. You can do it big later, or you can start bigger, but it will just take you a bit longer. It will be a 5-hour live stream.
Okay, so how are you doing at this point? I mean, I think we can take another 20 minutes or so. Try to at least start this process, and then you can continue it slowly with your cup of coffee, tea, or maybe a glass of wine. It depends on how far in your day are you. But yeah, you should definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, we got some people using blenders. Wendy said, love oil-based FC polychromos for the ability to have so many layers. They work well with FC Albrechtdürer watercolor pencils and traditional watercolor as well. This is nice. Holly also using a Prismacolor Premier colorless pencils. This is interesting, people who've never used any of these blenders. For Mocht Amar, painting was always, whenever my cup of tea. And Wendy really likes the color charts and swatching, which can be very relaxing. I totally agree. I think that swatching really is fun. Middle purple pink would be perfect for that bright pink. Yeah, that bright pink, Wendy, I think it's like a magenta even, which we don't have in our in this color set. By the way, I mean, one just quick point. You try basically not to mix different brands of colored pencils, right? Or do you?
I think that's not an obstacle.
It's not an obstacle. Okay.
No. At this point in my colored pencil career, I would say that's not an obstacle.
Go wild.
Yeah, go wild. Okay. At this point, maybe in a year, if I just fall in love with this medium, I'm gonna be like, no, you stick to the brand. But right now, I mean, use something that sparks your joy. It should be at least the same quality. That's the main point.
Yeah.
So I would not mix like high quality colored pencils with something your kids are using or I used in high school.
Don't mix your jollies with your Albrechtdürers.
Yeah, I mean, why would you? How much of a torture is that? Probably.
Remember Jolly? I don't know if it's like.
At one point, I was like, "That's the best brand."
I know what was Jolly like. Jolly. I don't know what country it came from, but I don't know if anyone ever used those. It had like a like a Joker, kind of character.
It was a Joker, yeah.
On the cover, but it was something everyone had in school. At least it in our time in Slovenia where we went to school. So, yeah, small is good, Wendy says, and Inke says very interesting lesson.
Thank you.
This is great to hear.
And you can go even smaller if you want. So I started off pretty big, and I think I'm gonna focus on this part here, and I won't even fill out these gaps here. So I won't fill out the edges. So start with one part and then try slowly to move to other parts.
Let me just move this for you so people can see it optimally.
And I would also like to emphasize that those colored pencils smudge. So I know when using other techniques, you instantly, if you're using brush normally, the position when holding brush is different. And when you're using colored pencils, you of course want your hand to lean and rest on the table.
Yeah.
And this is how you can smudge your drawings pretty fastly. So I suggest that you take another piece of paper, you can cut it out, like just a small piece, where your hand is going to be sitting, and this is going to be also very smooth. And then you can always just, move all over your drawing, and
Wow.
yeah, you won't smudge anything.
Wow, this is great.
Or not at least so much as with your hand.
Wow, this is a good idea. Nice.
Okay, so where was?
There we go, your swatches.
My swatches.
So what I really like about the photo you picked for us today is the fact that the background is blurry, and I think this will be perfect to try to recreate with colored pencils.
Yeah.
Right? Because, we have this very sharp ladybug, and then it's becoming more smudged or like unsharp in the background. And yeah, I think this will be a lovely exercise. Because this is also great when we draw or paint. Sometimes we neglect the fact that we can create depth through this, field of view or field of depth, this sharpness. I don't know what's it called again, but like in photography, the focal point is always sharp, and then everything before that and after that is unsharp. So yeah, I think it's called field of view. Anyways, depth, sharpness. So you can also recreate that when you're drawing or painting. It's hard when you're sketching because you just have lines to do it, And most of the time when I'm sketching, you have to use different tools to create a feeling of depth. But when you're using colored pencils, you can try that, I would say.
Okay, so I think I need to just make like a small outline.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be the bud, and it's a bit too big.
So Susan is asking if we are Slovenian. Yeah, Susan, we are Slovenian.
How did you guess?
Well, I just said before we went in Slovenia. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, we're Slovenian. We've been living in Berlin, Germany for the past 5 years.
Yeah, already.
Yeah, it's been like exactly 5 years last week, I think.
For me, next week on the 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, yeah. So, yeah, we've been here for a while, but originally went to school and studied in Slovenia. So that's where we learned most of our stuff. Yeah, depth of field. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. Depth of field. Field of view, depth of field, yeah. Native speakers, please just throw out your corrections because sometimes we have a bad English day and we appreciate the feedback. You can gladly correct us in the language.
Yeah, I agree with Kasper. Okay, so I drawn here the ladybug. I also draw the flower bud, and now I also just emphasize some color fields that I know that are coming here. Is going to be the red one, the green one behind this one, and also again here the green one, and also here is going to be something bigger. There's also a flower in the background. And I think we can start slowly. So, what did we learn? We learned that we need to start with layering. We need to start very light, and then we're gonna build up the color. And this is also what we're gonna do. So you're gonna take your first color. For me, this is going to be orange, and I'm gonna try to deepen this tone with adding red, and maybe also a bit of brown, because I learned that you need to try to create a richer tones, not through black, but with different tones, which are surrounding the painting or your drawing. And don't forget, also very important, when starting light, always sharpen your colored pencil.
Yeah, sharpen your pencils.
Okay, here we go. When drawing Ladybug, what I did before is also I emphasized not just the dark spots, but also the white spots, the surfaces that I need to avoid, because if I color them in, I don't know how we will remove the color later on.
So this is your makeup sharpener?
Yes.
What do you use this for?
It's for sharpening the eyeliners.
Oh, they're like in the pencil form?
Yeah.
Huh.
If you freeze them in the fridge, they are completely hard, and then even if you're using soft eyeliners, you can sharpen them normally.
Crazy. Wow. Completely unknown knowledge to me.
Well,
but
now you know.
No, I do.
Okay, and let me just tell you, I'm also doing this for the first time today, especially step by step like this. So if anyone is very, very good while using colored pencils, then you can always give us an advice.
Yeah, we're totally open to every information that we want. Basically, to be really honest, we learn a lot of these techniques just so we can show them to you. I mean, they're totally fun, but like we prepare and learn them anew. And we'll also, completely honestly say that we're not really on that expert level that maybe we will be in a couple of months, but we already gathered enough knowledge that we're excited to pass it on.
Yeah, that's for me. There's the thing is that we always need to start somewhere, and at one point I know that like a few years ago I was like, yeah, but I don't have the skill and I don't have the knowledge, and I need to go on a course and just get an expert and become an expert before I can share everything. And you need to start somewhere. You need to see if that's the right thing for you, because if you don't even start, how will you then later on know that that's something that sparks your joy and your interest? So that's why that's for me a pretty good tactic.
Yeah, and we are also still learning a lot and improving. And one thing we just, by doing so many videos now recently and trying so many different art materials and techniques, I basically just realized it's going to be lifelong learning. There's so much to learn and so much fun things we want to try out that, maybe we won't be like the experts for one thing, but I'm really excited about learning about many things and then passing it on.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what would you like to achieve. Would you like to become an expert in one thing, or would you like to just explore and test as many things out as possible? Because this is also one chance, one way to do it. Okay.
So people are really saying that Susan says you both speak English extremely well. You speak better English than I will ever speak any other language, said Wendy. And Holly, don't worry about it. I'm in the US and I have a bad English day every day. It's way too easy to slip into slang, and I think this isolation had made it worse. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate it. We are doing our best, and it's great to have some support. But still, if you have any tips or corrections, we gladly take your advice. So we have a question. Is it easier to get many layers on a smooth paper or on a textured paper?
On a smooth, on a texture on a medium textured paper. So it needs to have some tooth, but not too much. So it's the saying is it goes like this: if you want to create surfaces that have a lot of background, like this one, then you need to use paper that's a bit rougher. And if you're trying to do stuff which is detailed, if you're doing a portrait or something similar, which demands a lot of detail, or just one object that you're drawing, then you are taking then you should take a bit smoother paper, because the details, the lines, look, the strokes that I'm doing, they are so clear and very, very precise. If I do that on a surface that is like this one, yeah, look, this is like watercolor paper. Hopefully this will be also seen here. It's very intense, but I don't have as much control over the paper as I would have.
Yeah, it's more jagged.
It's more jagged, yeah. You can really see it, because it's so jagged that even this line at the end, it's not so smooth. It does not have any smooth lines. It's like really, it gets very soft. That's the difference. You see it clearly here.
Oh, nice. Also, the color seems to be a bit different. This is interesting.
Okay, so what are we going to do now for the next hour when you're coloring in this ladybug and this nice flower here? Your coloring process is going to be very zen and meditative, and there is not much that is going to be seen for a few minutes, 10, 20, 30 minutes or so. And then everything, because you're going to layer everything, and then after an hour or after half an hour, you're going to be something that you can be very proud of. Because what we're trying to achieve here is just laying out the first layers of color, and then we need to just build up the color. And this is why this ladybug right now looks like a sad thing, and hopefully with a bit of love to detail and attention, it's going to become a super beautiful ladybug.
It will take some time. Holly said that she can see, and if I understood this right, she can really see what you're doing right now, because everything is so light at this point. So you can, this is interesting, you can't really see what Sonia is doing because it still has to emerge when she's going to add additional layers. But it's going to be with your drawing the same. And also leave blank spaces for whites, right?
Yeah, leave blank spaces for whites.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be a bit more bolder right now, because maybe just for the sake of video, and so that I can have an excuse if I mess up, I'm gonna just start applying a bit more color.
Oh, go crazy.
Yes.
So, but people, do not try this at home. You go slow with your layer after layer and after layer. Sonia is going to do this for the sake of science and education.
Yes.
She's going to dive into stronger layers of color. Wow.
I hope you can see now a bit better.
Yeah.
What I'm doing.
So, just really quick for everyone, that is maybe trying to finish this later after the live stream. So definitely the stream will stay online for everyone. If you're watching this on replay, just continue watching with us and do your ladybug at your own pace. And everyone, if you don't have time for the whole thing right now during the live stream, you can definitely check it out. It will be online and it will stay online later. Once again, for everyone, we'll be really super glad if you gave the video a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed yet, do subscribe. We do fun stuff every week. We have live streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're gonna look in the near future how we're gonna do maybe a bit more regular videos, which we haven't done in the last 2 months. But we're gonna do some more really cut edited video, so you get compressed information and everything. But we'll still continue doing live streams because the feedback from you was so amazing. So we'll definitely keep doing that. Maybe not for a week, but yeah. All right. So let's see. Let's give the comments a look. By the way, Sonia, a great tip with the eyeliner.
Yeah, try it out.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works fine for you as well.
Yeah.
Especially in summer, because they are just melting away because of the heat. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're not keeping them in a cool environment.
Mm-hmm. We have a nice suggestion here from the community. So Susan says, one day I'd love to see a video where we take the same sketch and use different mediums to color, like marker, pencil, watercolor, etc. This is a good idea, Susan. I think we could definitely try that. And we also did last week, we did an interesting video, no, this week. What is it, Wednesday? Where we tried it in different styles, Monday. So Mondays from this week, live video was about trying a same motif in different styles. And we were using a bit of different materials there. So it's an interesting one to check out, I would say, and also try out. So patience in art is challenging for me. What would be your suggestion for that?
Yeah, I know. we
know.
We feel you.
We totally know, yeah.
Yeah, there are faster things. I mean,
there are faster things in life.
First of all,
than art.
Why? Of course, even when I was doing this, I was asking myself, why do I even try? Why do I even bother? But the thing is, if that does not spark your joy, find another way. There are ways how to be happy while drawing, and don't torture yourself. There are people who do just acrylics, and this is fine. And acrylics is, in comparison to this, what we're doing right now, much faster. So it really depends what is your creative process like. If you're a person who just has ideas and the ideas are just sparking and creating themselves, and you think you're gonna combust from everything that you have in your head, then of course you need something that's very fast.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need to wind down. And then sometimes maybe colored pencils is exactly what you need. So patience is really depending on what kind of state you are, in what kind of mood you are. And sometimes you really need to be reasonable with yourself. Are you working on some sort of long-term goal, like studying, for example, landscape architecture, where you know you're going to need 4 years of studying and building up that knowledge to become an expert, and then you're just going to go to office, like office environment, where you're going to just sharpen the edges and polish your knowledge.
For the next 10 years.
For the next 10 years. It's like the same with doctors. And you need to know that you need to do something that you're going to love. Yeah. That you love, and you can, something that is like so consistent in your life that it can also be
thing you do every day.
Yeah.
I think this is amazing advice. We try to preach patience all the time, because not only now in regard to colored pencils and the process of creating one piece of artwork, but also on the level of improvement. Maria said, yeah, it takes, doing pretty bad with my drawing. I didn't practice coloring with colored pencils much. This is completely fine. What I need you to do is to fall in love with the process, right? Not the goal.
Yeah.
You have to start enjoying the process. If you are a creative person, and I think all of you are, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be here in this live stream. So I think basically, I can already assume you're all creative. All of you have this challenge in life that you have to produce things, right? Creative people have to put stuff out in order to be happy. If you suppress that creativity and don't express yourself creatively in any way, it doesn't mean you have to be an artist, but there are other ways to express yourself creatively, then you're going to be quite frustrated. So, and this is like a very known psychological problem of creative people. So you have to find a creative outlet for yourself. And then there is this trap that whatever you do and create will not be so good, will not be as good as everything else you see on Instagram or online or whatever from your teachers. So you have to fall in love with the process of learning. And this is where this patience, macro patience really comes in handy. You have to really be patient and just not really love the end result, but just the process of learning. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's basically the time for yourself.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need to be patient with yourself as well. Yeah.
Wow. So this is one of the best advice we can give. And right now, I'll just gonna send also a heart out to Ineke. Thank you very much, Ineke, also for your support.
Thank you, Ineke.
And yeah, I'm glad you like the advice, everyone. Lena says she likes watercolor, landscape. Kim also, yeah, great discussion on the process. We're so used to seeing final results of art as opposed to the journey of making art. Pamela agrees. 1:30 a.m. still here because enjoying this process. Wow. Pamela, I'm really glad to have you with us.
That's so nice to hear.
I mean, yeah, you're really one of the few Indonesians that are tuning in, because I know it's like nighttime at your place, and I know the Australians have been asking us, and people from New Zealand, that they cannot join the live streams. But yeah, this is like, this time right now is where most people are online. Where most people have time, because we're trying to combine, the Americas, Europe, Africa time zone, then the Asia, and also, like Southeast Asia, Pacific, Australia, and I know Australia and New Zealand kind of, it's kind of not the best time for them.
Yeah, that's very hard, and I know sometimes I would also like to join a live stream or something that I enjoy, and then, or I wait and I really do this. I say to myself, this is something you're gonna do for yourself. Invest that time, and then I really do it. But it's not always very convenient, and I know that. So we're gonna try to mix the times in the future a bit, right?
And we're also gonna do more, just produced cut videos that you can just watch whenever you want.
Yeah, that's the goal, to move back to those kind of videos again. So that you can do that as well.
But we're not leaving the live streams, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
Because we love them, because we have this interaction with you. You can ask us direct questions, and we, for the first time, really have a feeling that we have a community. And this is like the most rewarding thing, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so how is your ladybug going? Are you already much further, or are you still layering the color? I'm doing fine. My ladybug as well. She's happy to be getting some color.
Just ate some fleas?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
I think not yet. And yeah, I mean, how far advanced are you in your drawing process?
Michelle said she started burnishing too soon.
Ah, okay.
Susan said it is rather zen watching this. And watercolor pencil seems to work better for me to blend and make the unfocused atmosphere, and then it becomes more fun, says Lewis. And also, I really like this comment, Valena, that we are pushing her out of her comfort zone.
Yes, that's awesome. Thank you. To hear. That's a nice compliment.
Yeah.
That's a really nice compliment.
Definitely one of our goals. You know why? Because we're pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones with this. Anyways, by putting this online and teaching you, is also the first step we had to take, but also trying all these new techniques. It's been crazy the last 2 months since the quarantine started. We've tried so many different creative techniques, materials, forms of creative expression. It's been super fun. I mean, it's been hard, but super fun.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
On everything.
I think I've improved creatively in the last 2 months. I've never had such a big leap, I would say.
Yeah.
No, I don't know even if I improved, but I had so much fun and developed so much love for this things we're doing that, even if the results are not there, I'm having more fun. than before, which is the yeah.
And you really notice that if you want to advance in one thing, or just you need to focus your energy on the things that you like to do. This is the only way you're gonna make a leap, like a really big step in one direction. Because otherwise, how will you achieve it if you're just thinking about it and never reacting? You need to take action to make the change, and this is for me the biggest showing how this is really done. Yeah,
it's amazing. And yeah, big thank you to Wendy, saying you two are awesome and giving us a donation. So thanks a lot, Wendy. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And yeah, I remember Wendy. Really remember, you wrote us a comment on one of the posts saying, yeah, sometimes you need people to talk to about your creative outlets and stuff. Gladly, you can always write us, all of you. You know, you can reach us in our Facebook group, DM us on Instagram and stuff. If you have any questions or just want to chat about the creative topic, yeah, do that. You know,
we're here for you.
We're here for you.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah. My ladybug is slowly coming to life.
Yeah, Kim said, I'm just watching now and we'll find a block of time to finish it later. And Pamela's whole square is like 3 by 4 centimeters, too small, but it is effective. It's a good idea to do it like a really small miniature thingy. Oh, I would love to see that one, Pamela. So yeah, Pamela, Kim, everyone else who's drawing with us, take your phone in the end, take a snapshot and post it in the Facebook group or on Instagram and tag us so we can see it. This is like a small moment of happiness. After each live stream, we finish up, pack a bit and stuff, publish the video, and then we go look on social media like what you have done. And it's like a small present, a surprise, and then we look everything like, wow, amazing, look at what people have done. It's really fun.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, so even if you're doing this live or on replay, whenever, we have this amazing Facebook group. We put it in the description of the video, so you can check it out there. And yeah, join us. It's called Lionscapers, or you can join us or write us on Instagram. We have like lionscapes.drawing, because someone already snatched the name Lionscapes.
That happens sometimes.
By the way, a word or two to the colored pencils. We put some colored pencils, linked to colored pencils that Sonia is using today in the description under the video. So in case you're wondering, like, okay, I want to step up, with my colored pencils, step up my game, want to get some better ones. There's links to them, and we have to disclose that this basically like commercial for those brands, because whenever we really endorse a brand, we have to say it on YouTube officially, I think. So there's that, I guess. We would endorse them, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, these are great pencils.
Yeah. So just I was talking to someone, like, whenever we use or showcase a brand, we have to say that it's like a commercial or something. We don't know. It's like this legal YouTube stuff. We have to figure that out, because basically in our kind of videos we're constantly showing brands. I mean, obvious, like, we use drawing material, and on every one of them there's like a logo in a name, and we cannot like cover it or something.
Yeah, that's true, because this is one of the most important parts, right, of our work. Okay, I'm trying to check how my ladybug is looking.
It's looking amazing. Wow. This is insane. Like, it went from this anemic, like very pale bug to this beautiful
creature, heavenly, earthly creature. What's going on? Yeah,
love it.
Thank you.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, and this is how it looks like. I mean, now I'm gonna build it up, and slowly I'm gonna add the environment. I think I'm gonna just spread it here in this part, so that we get a bit of this blue tone. I mean, oh my god, the colors here in this photo are amazing, right?
Yeah.
Whew. And I want to add those in as well, because that would make me happy. Yeah, but do your thing. I mean, do the things that are most important to you. But I would also suggest that for for today. We spent a lot of extremely nice time together. I hope you got some value. If you already have the knowledge on how to use colored pencils, that you at least renewed some of the knowledge you already have. And for those who don't, I'm very happy, and hopefully I also gave you some additional knowledge that you can use right away, rather you're using colored pencils or watercolor pencils. This is something that you can use for sure in your future creative endeavors.
Definitely. So before, then I suggest you will finish this thing, and then we'll definitely post it on our social media, so you can check it out there, Instagram, Facebook, etc., etc. I will also say a word of what awaits us in the next week, and also answer a really short question that came in the beginning, and I promise I'll answer it now. So how we basically film all of this. I think we'll do a video on that soon, so you can see basically what we actually have set up here. But we basically have a smartphone which is connected and a camera which I'm looking into right now, and they're both connected to a program here, and then we can switch between those cameras. So it's basically just a smartphone and a camera. It also could have been two smartphones. So if any one of you is interested how to record your artworks, yeah, we can actually really write us. We can post what actual equipment we're using, like tripods and stuff. So schedule for next week, while Sonia is continuing the work on her ladybug. Monday is Creative Monday. We're working on something really interesting. We hope to have guests soon on Creative Mondays. And Wednesday is still to be announced, but we have a couple of fun topics in mind. So we definitely want to get some guests in, because we already put in a lot of knowledge, and I think we shared a lot with you, but I think you would benefit also by us getting other people who are experts in the field of creativity, of art, different techniques and everything. And especially in the field of creativity, we want to bring in some people and do some guest exercises, guest lectures. And I'm interested if you would like that. So leave us a comment if this would interest you. And also, more importantly, if there is a person that you might also want to see as a guest on our channel, yeah, let us know, and then we can reach out and see what can be arranged. So, Sonia, your ladybug looks amazing and looks incredible, lovely saturated colors, and it didn't take that long. Perfect description, and naming to glorious. So this is great. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Finish at your own pace, enjoy the rest of the day, the rest of the night, or sleep